I put all my worth into someone else loving me. It was because I wasn't full. It was because I didn't want to be alone. Last night I had a moment of understanding with myself, a moment of clarity. Right before I was going to sleep, I had this thought and this feeling, and I wanted to share it with you. And it might sound weird at first, but please hear me out through the whole video. It's something I think that everyone should hear. So here's what happened. Last night I was falling asleep, and in that moment I felt so safe next to Daisy. I felt so comforted. I felt so comfortable. I felt so at peace in our relationship and just in myself. And I had a thought, and it's kind of a weird thought, but I think it's important. The thought was, I'm not afraid of losing this person. Not in a way of like, if something bad happened to her, like that would terrify me, but in the sense of I am full within myself. I am okay to be alone. I feel confident that both of us are 100% on our own, and that we choose this relationship every day, not that we need this relationship every day. And in that moment, I felt so safe. I felt so comforted knowing that I didn't need this relationship. I didn't crave this relationship to make me feel full. I craved it because I love her, but not because I needed someone else's love for my own sense of worth. And in that moment, I thought about my past relationships, everything I had been through, and why those relationships ended and what was wrong in them. And it made me think about who I was as a person. And I think why all of my relationships in the past hadn't worked was there are two really main reasons. One of them is me not being full within myself was causing me to find the wrong partner. And so obviously then there goes into like the other parts of things where you're uncompatible. But what it really stems back to was I wasn't being my full self with my past partners because I was too afraid that if I were to do anything wrong, if I were to be myself, I could possibly lose this person, whether I was like, crazy about them or not. I could lose this person, which was what I needed for my own sense of self-worth. It was because I wasn't full. It was because I didn't want to be alone. And it was a crazy realization because in the moment, I never thought I wasn't full. But looking back, I see that I was never truly myself because I was worried about what they would think if I were to be myself. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a flirtatious person. I am like a free spirit, as you can tell by me doing OnlyFans. Like, I do what I want to do. But in my past relationships, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't do those things. I was trying to hide and suppress that part of me, which made me find the wrong people. I needed someone like Daisy who would understand me and accept me, and even if she doesn't understand me, would still accept me and would have conversations around those misunderstandings if we do ever have them. But I wasn't able to find her, the right match, because I was pretending to be someone I wasn't just to keep people around because I was afraid to be alone. And that's why when I say I'm not afraid of losing Daisy, it's not because it would crush me, it would, but I'm not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid anymore to be my full self. I am full on my own. In past relationships, I wasn't full on my own. I wanted them to stick around, whether I liked them or not, because I wanted to feel like I was cared for. I wanted to feel wanted, needed. But that made it so that I felt like I couldn't leave those relationships when they weren't working out. I put all my worth into someone else loving me, into someone else liking me for who I was not. And that's why when you are full, you aren't afraid to lose a partner, because you feel confident that you've given your all. You are confident that you have been yourself and that only the right person would stay with you. And I think that's where I found like this comfort. And I felt so good last night just laying next to her and knowing that both of us are ourselves and we appreciate each other and we do things on our own. We don't need each other to fill our cups. We are two full cups sitting next to each other. And it's crazy because after my last relationship, I really thought, you know, I don't want another relationship. I didn't. I thought I'm good on my own. And for a while I really was. And then I tried to date again and I thought maybe I could date but still just be on my own. And I moved back here to LA and I was really not expecting to find anyone. And like I said, I do OnlyFans, so dating was really hard. I realized I needed to stop morphing because that was the problem. I needed to just be me, not worry about what others think, not worry about finding a relationship, not worrying about love at all. And so as soon as I stopped doing that, Daisy came around and it felt so natural. It felt so normal. I felt normal. I felt like I was accepted. What went right during those 2 years of me being single, which really isn't that long, but I'm glad that I had those 2 years to figure out who I was and to date but not date and to be with myself and to learn how to accept myself. I went through a wave during that time as well when I was really afraid to be gay. Like, I know that sounds weird, but if you want to watch that video, it's right here. I was feeling afraid to be myself. And it came from society, it came from everything that I had gone through in my life. I was afraid to show who I was to the world. And I think also putting your life online, you compare yourself a lot. Well, even if you don't put yourself online, people compare themselves so much in this life. And society is built on comparing yourselves so that you are a consumer and you buy more and you do all these things to be cooler and more likable. And social media doesn't help, especially if you do social media. It doesn't help because you do compare yourself. And I had been doing that for so long that I was kind of trying to morph myself. And finally, those 2 years where I went home, I took a break from just being what anyone else wanted me to be. And I remember on days where I felt confused, I would drive to the beach and I would sit with my notebook or my reading book and I would read and I would watch the sunset and I would eat snacks and I'd be by myself a lot at that time. And I am by myself a lot anyways, but at that point I was really with myself and I finally learned to love who I was. Because it's not like I didn't ever like who I was, but I always felt like I was taking parts of different people to create who I thought I should be. When I would get in relationships, I was getting in them based on what I thought I needed or what I thought others would want me to be in, rather than who I truly felt connected with. And at one point, I didn't even know who I felt connected to. I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't know what type of person. I didn't even know what I was basing it on either. Like, now looking back, I don't know what I was basing this like persona that I tried to create. I don't know who I was basing it on. I don't know if it was like a mix and pool of all these different characters and pieces. And only last night did I finally realize, like, I'm finally settled into who I am. And yes, that can constantly be changing, and you'll constantly be someone new and someone different. And you'll like different things throughout your whole life. But I finally figured out, like, what I like and who I am as a person, and like what makes me feel whole. When I first moved to LA, I was in college, and I remember I didn't notice it at first, but when I first moved to LA, I went through like the first quarter of school, and when I came back from the first quarter of school, I had cut off all my hair. Or maybe it was the second year, I don't know, the first or second year of college. Chopped off all my hair, and I came back to school, and I remember someone saying, "Oh my God, you were the girl that had long, straight black hair, and you always wore black. And now you have colored, short hair, and you're wearing a flower top." Like, I was, you know what I mean? I tried to conform a little bit, because I remember, I don't even know why I thought I needed green hair. I do remember why I cut my hair, but again, it was a conforming thing. And when she said that, it kind of stuck with me. Like, I was like, oh, I had been known as the girl with long, straight black hair, because at the time I would straighten it all the time. Long, straight black hair, and I would always wear black. And I didn't even realize that that's who I was. And then I look back at it now, and I think when I first moved to LA, I was more myself. And as I was here longer, I tried to conform a little bit. And I've reverted. I'm not wearing black right now, but I wear neutral colors. That's just who I am. I finally realized I don't like color. I just hate it. And I don't like prints. It's not for me. I like these colors. I like black. And that's that. And I finally like accepted that that's who I was. And it took so long. It took so long. I'm about to be 28. I'm about to be 28 years old. And I finally have accepted that I don't need to conform. I am afraid to age, though. I will say that. I'm afraid to age. I'm afraid to turn 30 eventually. I'm afraid to turn 28. I still feel like I'm 22, which is so weird. But I've, reached a point in my life where I am really grateful for everything that I've learned, especially when it comes to relationships and when it comes to like me being fully okay with who I am and not letting a relationship or friendships or anybody else tell me who I should be, but just to be who I know that I am. It feels really good. And I think maybe it does come with age. And I think I'll definitely become more and more confident as time goes by. It's funny because I get more confident and I also find things that I'm not, like, I am fully 100% good with who I am. Like, I am good on that. And that's what this whole video is. It's like, I feel confident in who I am as a person. But now, as I've reached that point in my life, I'm starting to like feel the aging come in, where like my body gains weight a lot easier and I see more wrinkles on my face and my skin is just different. I have a lot of gray hairs, like a lot. I start realizing those things, and that part of my life I haven't found confidence in, but as a human, I am confident in who I am as a person. I feel like I'm a good person. I like my personality. I like who I am. I like Alanah. I really do. And I make mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I am full. I am happy. with who I am. But then it's like the other side of things. While I'm gaining confidence here, I'm losing confidence in like my appearance and just like feeling older. But that's a whole nother story, isn't it? Anyway, let me know about your thoughts on relationships and how you've approached them, your life, and how you feel within yourself. Just know it's okay not to be 100% confident in yourself yet. It's a, you know, it's a learning experience. It's not going to come easy. But I think little by little, find things that make you feel confident and like push that, blossom with that. Like if you really love one of your skills or how good of a friend you are, whatever it might be, like focus on that and flourish that. And then if there are things that you're not so super confident with, you know, work on it. I think now we're going to get into like one other thing. I think something that I was really insecure about as far as who I was and why I was trying to conform to like what I thought relationships wanted out of me and what I thought friendships wanted out of me was I thought I needed to be cooler. I think I've made a video about this, but like I thought I needed to be cooler. I thought I needed to be cool. I don't know. I remember in like middle school, I was kind of a weirdo, and I remember someone telling me like, you're really annoying. You're weird. You're annoying. And after that person said that, I decided in high school I was going to be like cool. I was going to make friends with everybody and I wanted everyone to like me. I think the conforming really started in high school. I went out to parties. I had parties at my house because I wanted people to come over and like see that I was cool too, you know? And I had a great time. I actually loved high school, but that's where it really started. And then in college and everything, I just wanted people to like me. And I think that's still something, and I think that's normal. Like I want people to like me, but it's not my main objective anymore. And I'm not going to change myself for people to like me. I'm just going to be me, and the people that like me will find me. And I think that's, you know, not only am I talking about relationships, but I'm talking about friendships, you know, and that was just like my realization last night, that I don't need to be anybody but myself, and the right people will find me. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.